I'm Jammer, and as Nintendo does, they just randomly announce whenever they want when they're having a new Nintendo Direct. So as always, I'm here again to give you my predictions
directly
to you. This one might be a little bit different than normal for the fact that it's an ARMS Direct focusing on ARMS with a Splatoon trailer. Didn't we just have that like a month and a half ago with the last Direct? Wasn't that an ARMS Direct with a Splatoon trailer at the end? I mean, isn't it that's why I'm kind of confused. I mean, it does make sense though, because that ARMS Direct didn't really go all into detail about what I initially thought, and that's why at the end in my prediction, or not, excuse me, in my reaction video following that Direct, I was kind of like, I still feel like when we get closer to ARMS release, they might have another Direct focusing in on some more specific details about the game so people can have a better idea how this game is played. And here we are. So I was actually kind of right. I had no idea what was coming. I actually totally forgot about it too, in a way. But I'm like, I guess I'm right. That's pretty cool, right? Quick thing to note before I get into everything, there is no Pokemon news going to be in this, supposedly as it says anyways. This one is going to be, unlike the last Direct, this one's going to be focused on just ARMS and with a single Splatoon 2 trailer. And I think, which is interesting because I know there's a ton of rumors going around that Pokemon's going to be a thing, they're doing a new Pokemon, but I really feel like, I was never on board that was going to happen. I don't know, I just had a weird feeling that we weren't going to be getting another Pokemon Direct or anything of that sort. Just because I feel like the next Pokemon announcement is going to be huge because it's going to be on the Switch. I have that feeling that whatever the new Pokemon game is going to be on the Switch, and that's E3 news right there. That's not a Direct news. They could do that, but that might overshadow what they do at E3, you know? I don't know, it's a give and take. I'm not a marketing major, I have no idea how that stuff goes down, you know. But that's my opinion, I just felt like it wasn't going to be here. So, to me, it makes sense that there's no Pokemon, and I really feel like we're going to be seeing that later next month. So let's get into the meat of this all. One thing to quickly note, I think it's very smart that this ARMS Direct is also including the Splatoon 2 trailer. Because at first you'd be like, why the heck is the Splatoon 2 trailer being attached with the ARMS Direct? It should be just focused on ARMS. Because this Direct, more than likely, is going to be very similar to Directs in the past, like the Mario Kart 8 Direct, or the Hyrule Warriors Direct. I believe there's one of those. And then the, oh, what's the other game? Oh, the original Splatoon, the Splatoon Direct, where basically it went all in depth on one game. It probably, I could foresee this being under 30 minutes. I could say maybe 20-25 minute Direct, depending on how long the Splatoon 2 trailer is. I feel like the ARMS section, anyways, will be around 20-ish minutes, going really in depth to every mode there really is in the game, or everything they want to show off before the game releases. They'll go in super in depth with the characters, the single player online stuff. They'll go in depth about the, there was the one 2-on-2 battles. They'll maybe talk about local multiplayer, maybe if there's mini games and stuff. They did kind of show off that Springman, you could punch those targets and unlock new fists and whatnot. I'm getting ahead of myself, shoot. The reason I think it's smart that Splatoon 2 trailer is getting attached on with the ARMS Direct is for the reason Splatoon is a new IP. A lot of people, we all attached onto it immediately, loved it. It's like a recognizable brand now. And bringing it alongside ARMS, which is also a new IP, is kind of, for one, is kind of saying, oh look, this is our other new IP. Let's not combine them together, but like have each other support each other. Like, oh, remember how much you love Splatoon, how much you love that brand new IP? Well, check out ARMS. This is our other new brand IP. And then the other reasoning is, let's say there are people who are not really looking forward to ARMS at all, or aren't that interested. They're gonna, but are huge Splatoon fans. They're gonna tune in tomorrow for solely the Splatoon trailer. Of course, it's probably going to be at the end, but, I mean, obviously we don't know how long it's going to be until it obviously runs, as it's a live stream. So more than likely, they're going to tune in and catch some of, if not all, of the ARMS presentation, which is only going to be beneficial for that game, and hopefully get more fans and more people on board playing this game. So that's why I think it's really smart, unifying these two in the same Direct. I mean, it's not as random as it seems, like just randomly attaching that Splatoon trailer on. I'll save my predictions for Splatoon towards the end, because that'll be probably a small, minor bit of this video and the Direct itself. But anyways, going back to ARMS and what they're going to be showing off, I think when it comes to single-player stuff, I really feel like if there's going to be a campaign, this is the time we're going to see it, and just see some sort of information, potentially about the story and the universe of this place. Because that's how Splatoon did it anyways. I believe when the Squid Reachers team did their Splatoon Direct a few years back when that game was coming out, they did the section when they were talking about Captain Cuttlefish, and the single-player stages talking, I believe they showed off a boss fight. I can't remember specifically. I mean, it's been a while since I watched that. But they did go pretty in-depth with what was going on there. They talked about the story of the Splatoon universe and Inkopolis and everything like that. So I'm sure we can see something similar here. Granted, we don't know anything about this story, so there could be no story to ARMS. It's just like, you know, there's people with springy arms, just deal with it. Or there is a pretty deep story. I mean, from what we can tell from trailers and stuff, like with the experimentation with DNA Man, like making the, you know, stretchy DNA, like, Helix arms, like, there's a lot of foundation or tidbits, little tidbits here and there that definitely could lead and point towards something bigger. We don't know for sure. I feel like there'll be something along the lines of that. I could see a Little Mac story where you play as Spring Boy or something like that throughout the whole campaign, and you're like rising the ranks throughout the tournament or something along the lines of that. I could see something similar to that. As far as other single player content, I'm sure there'll be a training mode, an arcade mode, and the mini game they already talked about where you practice your punching, try and hit targets, which I think will be really important. And I think they're going to really emphasize and try to teach people how these motion controls are going to be played. Because I think my first concern when I first saw this game is a lot of motion control games, especially how they're going to be used in this game, where it's not only used to input your attacks, but also your controls, leaning back and forth. It's never as, what's the word? Responsive, yeah. It's never as responsive as you would hope it to be. Like, if you quickly go like this with the Joy-Cons, I mean, granted, I've never played it, so I don't know how ARMS is going to handle it, but, like, you would be under the assumption, or any other motion control game, like if you do throw a punch, there's a bit of a delay, or if you try to move back and forth. And this is going to be a competitive, fast-paced game, which requires very precise movements. And that was one of my concerns, like, okay, if this is a focused multiplayer game like this, that's solely based on the motion control aspect, how are they going to nail this? So I think it's important that they show that it is very versatile, it's easy to learn, and that it's responsive, you know? I mean, there is they did announce a few weeks back, maybe it was a week or so, that the button, I mean, they already announced that button controls were going to be a thing if you didn't want to use motion. But they announced how they're going to be working the other week, that's what I meant to say. And they explained how it's working with the sideways Joy-Con, saying that basically you can get almost everything that the motion controls would offer, except for one crucial factor where you can't move a different direction from the way your fist is punching. So I'm assuming if you're curving like this, you can't move this way, right? Because if your fist is going this way, you're going that way. Which obviously is very hindering and is, in a competitive scene, like without that option, that's a huge detriment to those players. It's a pretty good option. I love that. I mean, I want to try it, obviously. And especially for those who only have one set of Joy-Cons and you're playing locally with on the go or whatever, then you can still play ARMS, get a somewhat okay experience. It's not going to be the perfect motion controls, but the thing is, are the motion controls even perfect? So I really hope they go over all that, and that's what I think the single player content is going to be talking about, how to unlock each specific glove or arms. So as far as new stuff, I could see them talking about potentially some new modes, perhaps like a new type of arena fight. I don't even know what else they could do, to be honest. Maybe some new multiplayer mode or whatever, but I'm not sure, I'm a little fuzzy there because I can't really speculate and think what they could show off there. But I know for certain what they will talk about is definitely at least one new character. I could maybe even see two, because Min Min took, what, 5 minutes in that previous direct? And if this is going to be 20, I could see them at least getting 2 new characters in there and dedicate that time to that. I mean, we know for certain there are at least 3 more unannounced that we've seen in the loading screen, which potentially we could see all 3 tomorrow, or we could see maybe 1 or 2 of them and maybe see the rest of them in designated trailers throughout the next coming weeks before the game launches. I don't know, it'll be interesting, but I know definitely we'll at least see one of those characters there. And of course, alongside that, we'll see the new glove pairings that go with that character and what their little gimmicks are going on there. And we'll also see, obviously, some more stages or stages tied with that character as well. I think they did a pretty good job in the previous direct, kind of explaining how each character is different from another. But again, they'll probably reiterate that here. I really feel like this direct is going to kind of recap some of the stuff it's already been talking about previously, like what happened in the previous direct, what happens outside in other trailers and stuff like that. Kind of just, basically, not assuming that you don't know anything about ARMS, but in a way, kind of re-explaining it to those who maybe need a refresher on what's going on here, or for someone who maybe had no exposure to ARMS whatsoever, and this is their first time watching a trailer, or anything related to that game. So I think that's how they're going to format it, making it very inviting to players who know nothing about it, or some who have been following it like we have. Amiibo. I talked about this previously, saying that they're going to announce Amiibo at that last direct. Didn't happen. I think this is where they're going to do it. I really feel like Amiibo are going to be tied to this game. And most recently, they've been almost tying an Amiibo to every game. I mean, look at Fire Emblem Echoes, come with Alm and Celica. What else? I mean, I don't know. They have Splatoon, yeah, Splatoon 2 Amiibo going. The Mario Kart 8 Deluxe stuff, they added new support for Inkling and whatnot. And it doesn't seem like there's something they're going to be dropping anytime soon. Amiibo is a pretty big pillar of Nintendo right now, for now anyways. So I think a Spring Boy or Ribbon Girl or even a dual pack of those two could easily be a thing. As for what their functionality do, I mean, it could be as simple as, you train it up like a level 50 Amiibo thing, and you just train it up as a partner you can fight or someone else you can spar. Kind of be boring if you did that. I mean, you could also save maybe custom costumes to it, maybe, because I know there's alt color costumes for every character, each being 2. Kind of like how Pokken Tournament would deal with Ditto matches. If you're a Charizard versus Charizard, one of them would be a different color, off color than the original orange. So, that, I mean, obviously that's in the game. We'll see some of that on the Direct as well. But maybe the Amiibo, you could scan it in and save color outsets for your favorite character or whatever. I mean, if it's just a Spring Boy Amiibo, it's kind of exclusive to Spring Boy, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe it'll save like loadouts of specific to gloves. Like, let's say you go visit a friend who doesn't have the gloves that you like to use or you main using or whatever. And if you scan your Amiibo, you can get it or something like that. I do hope, I mean, this is a feature I hope they include. I'm not sure if they'll show it off tomorrow. Being able to save loadouts for gloves. I mean, it doesn't look like there's I mean, there is a ton in the game, at least what it looks like. Especially with the different variants of elementals and stuff like that. But it would be kind of nice to, like, what if you really like using the boomerang on left's this arm. Boomerang on left and fire on right or something like that. And you like, you can save that loadout and try to, and you can load it back in every time you try to set up a new match. And you can save maybe a couple of loadouts so you can swap them in between and stuff like that. That'd be kind of nice. But, I mean, Mario Kart 8 doesn't even do that. At least it saves what you last used after the previous match. But besides that, it doesn't let you save, like, perfect outsets or setups or whatever that you can just scroll between, whatever. So I don't see that actually being in ARMS, but it'd be a nice feature anyways. As far as what else, I think it kind of went over everything. I mean, we'll probably hear some new music, I guess. I can guarantee we'll see that announcer again, and he'll be the one narrating this whole thing again. He seemed like a pretty likable character, and I really want to get to know him better. One thing that a lot of us were all talking about and hoping that was going to happen was an ARMS demo. And we obviously didn't see it in the last Direct. And this could be the place where they would announce it, or could announce it. I'm not certain, though. I don't know. Like, it would be really beneficial for this game to get it in the hands of players who don't really, like, are skeptical on getting the game, or are, completely, like, out of the loop of what's going on there. I really want to try this hands-on, of course, and get some experience with it. Especially with the fact that it's coming out the week of E3, which is, like, such a hard time for, like, guys like I'm going to be so busy at E3 doing all that stuff, or prepping before E3 to be able to play it. It's going to be weird when I'm actually finally get time to play that game. I don't even know. So, yeah, a demo would serve this thing really great. I mean, even if they did it sort of like a test fire like Splatoon, where you can test the online servers and play online matches at dedicated intervals rather than just an infinite demo. It'd be nice to be an infinite demo, but then again, people could have as much fun as they want with it, and then be like, okay, I'm kind of done with the game after this. I don't really need the full thing, So I think it's smart to make it timed or whatever, and something along the lines of that. I don't think this is a game that'd be worried about data mining and spoilers, because there really isn't much spoilers to the game, unless there's, like, a final boss or just some secret unlockable characters, which we'll know about anyways the game release, when the day the game releases, regardless of data hackers or not. So, and besides, it's a fighting game. Like, it's not like a Smash Brothers where if a new character's announced, the internet just explodes, Like, this is a lot different, and I don't think it would be as big of a issue if stuff got leaked. I mean, it always sucks. I mean, the loading screen got leaked, and they did that themselves, So I don't know if that's the biggest concern in regards to a demo. I hope it happens, but I don't have the biggest faith it's going to. Like, I don't expect it to be shown off tomorrow, but if it is, I'm so for it. So as far as, I don't know, I think that's everything I wanted to say about ARMS. Just the single-player, multiplayer content, local stuff, controller configurations. I'm sure they'll explain how button controls work versus motion controls. Talk about that stuff. A new character, new stage, stuff like that. Potentially even 2. Now let's talk about Splatoon 2 real quick before we sign off. Well, they kind of hinted in the last Direct when they were talking about Splatoon 2, saying stay tuned for story details later this spring. I don't even know what they said. They said just stay tuned for story details later. And it could be in reference to the Squid Sister Diaries that have been, or stories that have been happening in these past few weeks. It could have been referring to that, but I kind of have an impression that this trailer is going to be showcasing that game's single-player content. It could, in fact, be another new mode like Splat Run. Salmon Run, yeah. And I'd be totally fine if they did it too. I can easily see it being another new online mode, and initial trailer for that, kind of like what Salmon Run was. But from their last indication, it made it seem like the story is what they've been talking about in the last few weeks, and that's what they said in the last trailer, saying stay tuned for that information. So unless they were only referring to the diaries, which I It could be, potentially. I feel like it's going to be talk about it here. Perhaps if there's a return of Captain Colorfish. Basically, like, where you go to access the story mode. The Squid Research Lab guy will probably talk about, like, what new crisis is happening in Inkopolis. How the Octolings have came back and stuff like that. What's going on with Callie and Marie. We've been getting a lot of information on that already, but not in visual format, or in video format anyways, besides just reading out the text. So I think that's what's going to be. It's either, that's one of two things it's going to be. I'm leaning on the side of being story mode details, single player content details, but it could be a brand new mode as well. Not entirely sure. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you guys think is going to be shown off at this Direct tomorrow? Are you excited for this new information with ARMS and potentially, you know, the new stage characters, all that stuff? Let me know in the comments about that. And then, of course, the Splatoon 2 trailer. What are you hoping they'll show off with that, with story mode stuff, or a new online mode? Definitely let me know in the comments. I think it's really smart that they paired these two together in a Direct. Like, even if it is just a, like, probably 3 or 4 minute trailer of Splatoon 2, just having that name alone already will attract more attention to the ARMS Direct than just being a regular ARMS Direct, you know. They don't want a codename Steam situation here. I don't think it'll be anywhere as low as hype. I mean, there's already a lot of excitement around it, and SteamWorld, what was it called? Codename Steam had nowhere near even what ARMS already has, you know. So yeah, definitely let me know in the comments what you guys think. Give this video a huge, awesome like, and if you haven't already, subscribe for tons on Nintendo Switch, ARMS, Splatoon 2, and Nintendo E3 2017 coverage. I can't believe it's going to less than a month. I have actually a pretty unique idea going into E3. I'm going to do a regular predictions video like this, but in the weeks coming to E3, I'm going to do a new series talking about specific games they could be doing and releasing at E3, and just going really in-depth about what ideas I would love to see in that game, or if they announce it or whatever. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. Also, for anyone that's interested, and maybe you saw this on my Twitter, but I have a t-shirt with, so if you want a t-shirt with my face on it, this is the one that we're going to be wearing at E3. I put it up on the shop if you guys maybe want to get one. So you're welcome to. It's like, I don't know, you get free shipping. It's like 20 or something like that. I'll put a link in the description for the shop or whatever. But yeah, I think that's everything. Yeah, stay tuned tomorrow. I'll do my reactions video just like always to the Nintendo Direct. And yeah, thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya!